Hey, I'm back, and the sun is moving. It's kind of bright out here. So I'm here live today because I want to introduce you to Miss Anitra Lane, and I am looking forward to having her join me here. I see her real quick. Let me see. Hang on, she isn't able to join. Let's see. Hey, Chef. I see you, Anitra. Let me see if I can add you on here. Anitra's based out in Georgia. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. How's it going over there? It's late for you, isn't it?
It is. It is. But I
How
still
was
love
your day? How was your day going?
it. It was good. And yours?
It is still going. We still got tons to do today, but that's cool too.
That's
So I
good.
wanted to introduce everybody to you and your business. How do I pronounce it? A kiss?
Yep. Akis.
Okay, ACIS. I'm sorry, ACIS Virtual Management. And what you do is actually help entrepreneurs and their businesses streamline their work, basically by managing them virtually. Is that correct?
Yes. That's what we
Very
do.
cool. And you're based in Georgia?
Yes. I'm in Georgia.
Very cool. So I'm just curious, how did you get into this line of work? How did you decide this was the thing for you?
Well, I have 27 years of being in the military. So
Whew.
I
Hmm.
retired like really young.
Management is easy.
Yes, management is easy. But I spent a lot of time just basically doing a lot of administrative stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm an IT person, so I have a degree in IT. So
Nice.
altogether, it's just like one of those things like I knew was easy for me.
Right.
And over time, you realize that what's easy for you is not necessarily easy for other people.
Exactly. Exactly. So how did you realize that this was something that there was a gap for, that you would be able to fill that service gap?
So I started looking for virtual assistants. That's what I started
Okay.
out searching, like virtual assistants, work from home, stuff like
Okay.
that.
Hmm.
And then when I was looking, I could see that there's lots of virtual assistants out there, but there's
Hmm.
also lots of information on how you could outsource to a virtual assistant.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I have more management than assistant
Yes.
stuff, which
Right.
is great, but the management part is where you're streamlining things for small businesses.
But
And
that's also kind of perfect with your background in the military because you can see where it could be more efficient and be able to help.
yes, absolutely. And especially like with small businesses, because small businesses don't always have manpower. So
Yes.
I learned how to, what they say in the military, do more with less. So
Yes. Resourcefulness.
yes. And I know that just for small businesses, it's really, you get so much stuff going. Even in my business, I was like, I got a million things and I'm one person and there's only
Right.
24 hours a day. I'm like, I need
Exactly. Exactly. And half of that is trying to get into the mindset where you want to do the work in the first place. So yeah, it takes a lot if you're not like well prepared for it.
yes, absolutely.
So I'm wondering, when you started out, were you looking for a solution for yourself at on some level besides trying to be a virtual assistant? You said you had more management experience, and were you looking for that kind of a solution for yourself, and you realized there wasn't, and so you were going to just start it for everyone else as well, or was there something else you were looking for at the time?
No, I was looking for a solution for myself as well. Because,
Perfect.
like I said,
Okay.
once you get into the journey and you're realizing how much work it is, and you're like,
Yes.
I'm doing it myself, but then you're up at 2, 3, 4 in the
Uh-huh.
morning. Where do
Like
I get?
now?
I need some sleep. But you
Yes.
have so much stuff to do. And
Right.
for me in the beginning, getting everything set up and stuff was one of those things where you had all those hours. And I said, if I'm
Right.
staying up like this, I'm sure there's other people that are up for hours and hours and hours.
Definitely. Definitely. And you're exactly right. When you're starting out, you don't have the money to spend on someone else doing the work for you. And most of the time, you're trying to figure out how you want it done in the first place before you even can explain to someone what it is that you want done. So a lot of times you gotta figure it out a little bit first before you can like outsource or find someone to help you with that. So that was something that I had to learn very quickly. And even though, I mean, even then I'm still an army of one, but it's okay. Like I'm trying to work it out the best way that I know how as well. Did you find that you had to pick up a lot of new skills when you were trying to fill this gap for everybody else?
Actually, not skill as was that you would have people different software like
Okay,
CRM.
all right.
Like in the
Yes,
military,
okay,
we
yes,
don't have CRM. We do, but we don't call them CRMs. So we
right.
do have an abundance of things that we use. And so, yeah, I was finding, okay, I got to learn a little bit of this, but just that's really just it. It's like the new software. And I actually started out before I actually got out of the military. I was working with
Hmm.
someone, and their program was so robust that it kept me busy just learning the stuff in that particular program itself.
I got you. So whatever they had a need for you to fill, you were able to kind of like, you knew enough about information systems and software that you could figure out, okay, I need to do this, then how do I go about doing it with these kinds of software, the new terminology and all that stuff. I found that that's kind of like a quick learning. It's not that bad actually, but it just takes a little effort, just to kind of get yourself up to speed on what is out there and what's changing, and if there's like an easier way to do things than it was maybe a couple years ago. Do you find that a lot of it has changed from the time that you got your degree in information systems till now? Has it changed as in like for the better, or is it kind of still around the where it was before?
It's kind of where it was before. The only biggest difference, though, is you have more social media and
Right.
stuff. And so with social media, that's where some of the changes really come in.
Yes. Yeah.
But ultimately, I've always just stayed up on top of IT stuff as far as technology.
Hmm.
So, being certified makes you like look at things in a different perspective, especially an IT person. So you're
Right.
always checking those systems and what's out there that's easier for people.
Right.
So
So as far as your management business itself, do you do like the whole gamut, like from, finance to design to social media marketing? Like, is it everything, or are you specifically focused on one area of business when it comes to managing?
when it comes to managing, I've focused on a few areas. Because there's so many, I try not to be really broad, but I'm
Yeah.
really social media. I do that and the design. And then another big one is a lot of people that are maybe they're coaches or in that environment. So they
Yes.
have a lot of training courses. So I was a trainer at one point, so I know how to put the courses together and do the outlines and those types of things. And then the other thing that
Nice.
I really got into was basically the click funnels. So that
Oh
was
my
more
goodness. Yes.
workflow.
Yeah.
Um,
It makes it
with
a ton easier, but it takes a little bit to kind of get used to it, correct?
Oh yes, and every click funnel is different because everyone is like, okay, if you use mine, it does this, this, and this. And then you find out only does half of what you need, or your
Right.
client has a previous person that they were using, and then they realize it wasn't everything that they actually needed. So
I understand that. So do you like ClickFunnels as opposed to any other funnels that there may be? I mean, ClickFunnels is a big thing. Richard Brunson and all of his, lovely videos, and it's very comprehensive. And I know it's supposedly very easy to put together, but I've never physically tried it. So I'm just curious. How do you feel about ClickFunnels in general?
well, I've had ClickFunnels, I've done Infusionsoft, so
Right.
there's so many different ones, but they basically have the same foundation at the end of the day.
Okay.
So like ClickFunnels. It's not that hard. Well, for me, it's not that hard.
Very good. So it's pretty straightforward, and this is one of your key tools possibly as far as helping to manage other people's businesses.
Yes, and really, it's not just using ClickFunnels. It's basically the whole gamut of setting up that email marketing
Okay.
for that person, or lead pages as well.
Right.
Those one pagers, everything that's going to get that person to your site and from your
Right.
site to, a buyer at the end of the day.
Awesome. And that's actually something I'm not very familiar with because I'm still in the beginning phases. Like all this time I'm sorry, I'm moving because it's very sunny out here in certain places and the clouds keep moving and messing me up. What I'm trying to, on my own at the moment, trying to figure out is how do I get those people to me without being online all the time. So in different time zones, like right now it's middle of the night for you, but it happens to be like noon for me. For people that are overseas, because they have the ability to find me no matter where they are, no matter where I am, it actually becomes one of those things where am I always available? And the email marketing, the back end of all of that, how to write all of those emails, how to make sure that the sequences make sense, all of those things are not something that I'm familiar with, and that's something that I'm teaching myself at the moment. So from your perspective, because you're able to manage these things, is that something you help with as well, the content itself, or is that something the client still needs to provide you with when you go to manage these funnels and marketing?
I do some of the content, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really because we have an intense, like me and the client, me and my customers, we have a really intense conversation, so that I make
Right.
sure that as I do your content, that I'm speaking in your language, because
Okay.
otherwise you're like, okay,
So you
this
can
is
capture their kind of essence a little bit, and it sounds like them still. I got you. That's what I was going to ask, because it's, as it is for me to write about myself, it's kind of difficult. But for you to be able to step into my shoes and write for me, that takes a lot of listening and a lot of questions for you to be able to, I mean, that's an amazing service that you're able to provide as well, though.
Yes, absolutely. And some of it comes from just watching your podcast and really
Hmm.
listening and paying attention to the details of how you speak and the things that you say to
Hmm.
your audience, because that's one of the biggest things when it comes to content writing. And
Right.
knowing that I'm
Yeah.
writing content, I want to connect with these people. I want to inform them of stuff, and I still want them to take action.
Right. That's actually a lot for you to take on, but that's amazing that you're able to provide that as well, because that is so integral to making sure that the business is presenting themselves in the best possible way so that the clients that they would be ideal for, the solutions that they are able to provide, will be able to find them quite easily without being, confused about what the message is. It would be very clear then if you were able to write for them or help them uh, put out their message a little bit more clearly. But that's a lot of work on your part as well. So at the moment, do you have a program that you're running or anything that you're promoting? Because, I mean, beginning of the year, a lot of people are trying to start over, fresh slate, new year, new clients. Is there something right now that you're promoting?
I haven't promoted anything. I did a lot of Black Friday, Cyber Monday,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
right now it's pretty much okay. Where are you at? And let's get
Got
you
it.
to in, because a lot of people did promotions through November and December, and so
Yeah,
now
it's very heavy at the end of the year.
that's when it is, and so they're just now picking up their clientele, and
Got
now
it.
they're getting to the groove of things. So in
Hmm.
February, I will be running a special because I want people to kind of get into their groove and then realize that I have way more people than I had last year. So now I'm
But that's a
leveling
good
up.
problem to have. Yeah. That's where they definitely will need you to help them, like, all right, how do I seamlessly, without dropping anyone, continue on my way and make sure that everyone is well provided for? So that's really quite amazing. And I'm actually glad you're waiting till February because, yeah, it's true. November, December, everyone's like heavy on the sales and promoting just before the end of the year. Let's get as many people in as we can. And then, yeah, it makes sense. January, they're trying to figure out, all right, well, where am I exactly? And how much time do I need to commit to all of the people that I have in right now? And then by February, they should have a pretty good idea to be able to go ahead and ask you for a little help. So that's quite amazing, actually. I really like the idea of that.
Right.
So a little bit about your, no, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, and for those people who actually do really great planning, they would have
Mm-hmm.
started planning back in June for the January rotation because, you know, depending on
Right.
how long whatever course is or whatever they're promoting, how long, when it starts and when it's going to end, you know, you
Mm-hmm.
try to catch in the middle of every quarter. So
Right.
February is right in the middle of the first quarter of the year.
Right.
So
Yep.
that's kind of how I do it.
So how do you manage? This is full time for you, right? How do you manage your time? Because you're not just an entrepreneur, you're also a mom. You have people overseas that you're trying to keep in touch with. So how do you manage all of this time wise? Like, just what can we learn from you on the time management situation?
On the time management, okay, so you have to, look, you have to streamline yourself and then you have
Yeah.
to practice it because the thing is, it is very easy to get off task and very
Yep.
easy to
I
be
like being
like,
distracted.
it's because it's so easy to get off task and you're like, okay,
Hmm.
I knew I was going to do this at this time. And then somebody calls you and you're going, wait, no, wait. And you're like, okay, I can do it in 15 minutes. So for
Yeah.
me, I've streamlined my day specifically. And then I have times, you know, be realistic about what your
Yeah.
day looks like from the beginning to the end. And
Hmm.
even there was a time when I used to have a girlfriend that would call me and I would answer her calls. And now what I do on my phone is
Hmm.
actually set so that you could call my number, but nothing will come through before 10 o'clock in the morning. Unless we've
That's nice. Unless
unless
you
we've
have an appointment. Yeah. Okay.
already made an appointment. And then it's not going to come through my phone anyway because we're going to have a Zoom appointment. So it's going to come up
Right.
on my computer. But
Very
that's
cool.
one of the things. And then at 10 p.m. at night, I go back to
Hmm.
it, do not disturb. So that's what it is. I have a
That's
12-hour
awesome.
period. And so
That's
that way,
awesome. And I don't think people use their phones that way. It's for everything else. It's for all the other distractions and mindless scrolling. And yeah, but I mean, you do have all of those capabilities on your phone right there in your hands to kind of help you manage your time. Something I've started doing is because I get sidetracked and I'll get up and go to the kitchen to get some food and then forget what I was doing in the first place or be happily distracted. But what I do is I set my alarm every half an hour to kind of check back in with my list of things that I'm supposed to be working on to see if I maybe gotten some of that stuff done. So I don't use it the way you do. I probably should add that in there. That would probably be very helpful, especially with all these time zones. So that's been the difficulty for me to manage a lot of time zones when it comes to scheduling because I'll forget. If I don't put it in my calendar right away, I'll forget that there is either, for Eastern Standard Time right now, it's a 13-hour difference. For Pacific Standard, it's 16 hours. So I tend to forget where everyone is based and I have to go back through the conversations to check and see, okay, where are they and what day did they say on their time so I can convert it to my time. And that's been a little bit tricky, but I mean, we're working through it. It's always a work in progress.
and see, and that's the great part. Like I use my calendar in my phone
Hmm.
for everything. So if you call me and
Yep.
say, well, let's schedule this, I'm putting it on my calendar right then so I don't have any
Yes.
conflicts because it's very easy to tell someone, yes, write it down on a piece of paper. And then
Oh
later
my
on,
gosh.
like, OMG, I put it on a sticky note and I know I got
Uh-huh.
time. And so now you're going back looking through your messages and then you find out that you double booked yourself. So
Yes.
one of the things, like I said, even though I have a do not disturb, I may get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, but I don't
Sure.
allow
Yeah.
myself to have any disruptions as far as business. And so I even just like if you were working in an office building, guess
Okay.
what? I go to lunch. So I have my lunch schedule set from 11 to 1 on my
Hmm.
calendar, even though I may not go to lunch for that whole period of time.
Right.
So
But at
it's
least it's blocked out. It's quiet.
exactly. So that's why the do not disturb before 10 means I get breakfast in the morning and all the other things that I do first thing in the morning. And then
But that's
after 10,
awesome, and I wish more people did that because then you already know what your home schedule is, so you can set those alarms or those do not disturb times around when you will be actually settled with your day. Like once I've got my daughter off to school, I'm pretty much good to go. But that's not what everyone does as far as blocking out time. So that would help me if I were to employ it right now, which I will when I get off the phone with you.
Because it's part of the streamlining. It's part of being organized. It's part of,
Yeah.
you really have to train yourself. Like I said before, I had a girlfriend, she would call me, I'd answer the phone, and we'd get to chit-chatting, and 30 minutes
Yeah.
later, I'm like, I had something I was doing right before she called, and
Right.
30, 45 minutes, an hour later, and you're going, okay, I still have that to do. So if you don't want to be in a position where you're up until 3 and 4 in the morning because you didn't get all
Yeah.
the stuff done, earlier in the day when you had scheduled yourself to do it, then you have
Yes.
yourself to like not answer. So I even trained my girlfriend. So she's like, she'll call me at 5 in the evening, like, are you off work yet? Because
Okay.
she knows I have my own business.
But
So
that's cool though. Yeah.
so she has trained herself too. She's like, I'm gonna try not to call you in the daytime. Doesn't matter what I want to talk about. I'll wait and I'll call you at 5 and see if you're off work. And it's just so
Oh.
because she's retired too, but she's in
Okay.
college, and so she's at home. And so
Mhm.
it's like for us, it's like we talk every day, but
Yeah.
we can talk in the morning before 10, or we can, and that's really
That makes
like
perfect sense.
it is a training thing, but you have to train people
Mhm.
to work with you because you have clients and other people you're responsible for. And it's
Yeah.
just like, so even working around your children
Yeah.
and responsibilities you have there, like I'm what do we call it? An empty nester. But even being an
Oh,
empty nester, it doesn't stop your children from needing something.
of course. Of course.
So, and my children they're adults, but they're so great because even I have a grandbaby, so my daughter, she'll know what time, like she'll call me at my lunchtime, and she is an hour behind me. So
Uh-huh.
so she's like, I know mom goes to lunch from 11 to 1, and then we FaceTime.
Very cool. But you know
So,
what? I gotta say, you don't even look like you're old enough to have grandchildren. I'm sorry. I'm, I can't. It's awesome. I love that we age so gracefully. So that's really, really great.
absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
Out of curiosity, last year, how was it for you? Was it very busy? Was it a lot of growth for you? Like, how did you feel about last year? Because last year for me it was very disruptive to a degree. There was a lot of changes for me personally, but in business as well. And I had to kind of like, step the plate. Like it was almost one of those shoulda got off the pot situations. So yeah, it was difficult for me. And I've heard a lot of people say that, they were kind of put through the ringer a little bit last year. How did you feel about last year?
Last year was very difficult for me. I had a lot of personal things. I had a lot of deaths in the family.
Oh,
But as
I'm
a
sorry.
business owner, when I have commitments to people, like
Hmm.
I had a family member pass away, and I still had an event that I was. Sometimes I do events. Let me go back a little
Okay.
bit. Sometimes I set up for events and things like that.
Hmm.
And so locally, I was doing an event for a nonprofit organization, and I
Okay.
had a death. But the great thing is, I have teammates that step in,
Okay. Awesome.
and they stepped in and they took care of everything, and we were still in contact and everything.
Hmm.
But that was a difficult time because we go through things. We go through, deaths and just
Yeah.
financial issues and just so
Yep.
many things. Even like I said, my son, he moved to another country, and just you just
Yeah.
have so many things going on. But
Life still happens. Exactly.
it does, and you have those moments when I don't want to give up, but I need a break. I'm tired, or you know.
Yes.
And you have to go back and figure out, well, why am I doing what I do,
Hmm.
right? So why am I
Hmm.
doing this to leave a legacy, or am
That
I
is a
doing
constant question, isn't it?
and I for my children, even though they're adults, we talk about life after you hit a certain age and what you're gonna
Yeah.
do, because my children were like, Mom, you took the easy route, you got in the military. I was like, that was not the easy route.
That was not easy. Uh, okay, well, as far as collecting skills, yeah, maybe, but yeah, that's not easy work still.
It's not easy. But the new generation, they think differently. They think, once you get a job, that you're good to go. You get in the military, they're gonna pay you all the time, and you just go to work and you come home. And I was like, there's a lot more to it than just going to work
Oh
and come.
yeah, it's gonna be a rude shock if that's the way they feel about things.
Yeah. So, but yes, 2018 was, it was a year that I went in with my eyes open at the beginning of the year. You know how you have your resolutions? I don't do
Of
resolutions, but
course, yeah. This is what I'm going to get done this year.
you have that schedule because I had done this schedule in 2017. So I had my year scheduled out and I knew who I was
Hmm.
going to see what networking events. And then life happened. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I just need a break. But along the way, guess what? I
What?
met people. And
Okay.
then I got a great tribe. And so
Okay.
they keep motivated because you see
Awesome.
stuff. Because even though you may not be having the greatest day today, guess what? They may be having a
They're
great
not
day
going to let you remember it.
today or not. They're going to be like, this was my win today. Look what I did. Look who emailed
Yeah.
me. You know, and so you get excited for them and it helps rejuvenate
Yes.
you in your
Yeah, it
business.
reminds you it can be done. It can be done. Just keep at it. So, yes, absolutely.
And that's the part where you realize they're just human like you because they have their days too. They'll
Yeah.
come in like, okay,
Yes.
today is a
Yes.
rant day and I need to rant
Hmm.
about whatever. And you're like, oh, wow.
Then you
But you,
comment with GIFs and everybody laughs and you kind of like, all right, what's next now?
right. And I've had that situation where I've wasn't I put out a post that I didn't think was the greatest. And so in the
Okay.
background I was having a conversation and they were like, okay, you're overthinking it. It was a great post. It's fine. And I was like, okay, I
Hmm.
was just having a moment. You know how you're like, I'm having a hot flash moment. And it wasn't.
Oh. But you did it anyway, though. See, a lot of people would have just like thought about it. Yeah, I'm not going to do it and just kept on going. But at least you started. Hey, Dreamies. So yeah, I'm actually really excited for you and whatever you've got going on this year. So please let me know if you have anything to offer. In the meantime, I do have another question for you.
Go ahead.
Were there maybe like 2 or 3 apps that really helped you out last year? Since you're a tech person, I just thought I'd ask.
Yes, let me tell you. Okay, so I use Workflowy. Workflowy is an
Okay.
app that where you can just keep your notes. Like you
Okay.
don't have to just really think too hard on it. You just go in there, you type it, and you just keep on moving. But it's an
Okay.
app that is cloud based, so you can get it anywhere. You log in.
Awesome.
And the other I use Trello, and Trello is like a
Okay.
CRM.
I think I've heard of that one.
So that one I use that a
Hmm.
lot.
Okay.
And then I'll give you a third one that I use. I use now. It's called Teamwork, and I
Okay.
use
Yes.
Teamwork for myself. Like I could use it for my clients, but I use it for myself mainly so that I can
Hmm.
track because I don't charge by the hour. I
Okay.
charge
You charge by project?
by project, right? And
Okay.
then even if it's like social media, I'll tell you what that package is. So I charge by the
Okay.
package
Okay.
instead
All right.
of hour, but I still track the hour for my own purposes.
Right. So
So
you can see what, if the price is worth the amount of time that actually goes. I understand that. That's totally awesome because that helps you build and scale up eventually.
yep, and it's the
Okay.
same way for for you because you'll look at it and be like, okay, so I went to do a post, and why did it take me an hour to do that post? It took me an hour to
Because
do
I
that
didn't
post.
block off my time, obviously.
Well, in the middle of that post, I got up and I went and I made a cup of coffee, and the
Uh-huh.
post taken you more than 15 minutes, but it took you an hour. So, but you'll be able to see your own trends, and it'll help you.
Yeah.
Don't
So even though you could possibly like try and recall it and lie to yourself about, no, I was very efficient that day, you can probably see for sure, like maybe
you
not.
can see all your inefficiencies.
But that's awesome. Like, I like that because you're able to tell me things that you've actually used in your own business, how they've helped you, and then by sharing that information, other people can look at it like, okay, well, what do I need to do? How do I see this without having someone come in and tell me? And, if teamwork is the best way to do that, then hey, why not?
Right. And all of these are they're apps that you can use that they don't charge you. They're free.
Right. Okay.
So, and
Even
sometimes
better.
you want to go before you start paying because
Yeah.
I even did QuickBooks, right? So I'm paying for QuickBooks and
Oh
I
my.
wasn't using it. And I was like, okay, we're not
Yeah.
paying because that's where you find out you buy things and you later on you're like, wasted all my money. I could have been doing something else with that
No,
subscription.
but you know what? Sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes that's part of the learning curve too. Like, you do it a couple times, you realize it's on like a subscription or whatever, and it's like a small amount at the time. And when you have the money, it's not a big deal. But when you don't have the money, it's like, oh man, guess what I could be doing with that money instead? So yeah, it takes some of those things, which is why when you mentioned the kids think, you got the easy way out by joining the military. Nah, there's so many other things in between that, they have no idea what they can or can't do because they didn't go to the military. They weren't trained a certain way to think about all these different things as they go to do any particular job, any one of 100 different jobs. So yeah, I don't like the idea of wasting money, but sometimes that's the best way to learn not to do it again.
Oh, I know, because I'm gonna go
Yeah,
with
school of hard knocks.
2018. I was like, I'm gonna sign up for this, and I'm gonna go to this speaking engagement. And then I looked, and I was like, okay, so I did not go to that, but I paid for it. I did not, but I paid for it, and I'm going,
Oh wow.
no refunds on these things, and so you still get the traffic and the messages and stuff like that. But you
Yeah.
realize, okay, the intent at the time was good.
Yeah.
However, the fact that I did not go means I need to really look at and be more intentional when I'm
Right.
looking at certain things and different networking events and stuff like that. So I was like,
But
lesson learned.
that's cool too, and that helps you on the back end as well, because I mean, yes, you pay for the thing, you got the email marketing that comes after that, and it gives you new ideas about what could be done and how it could be put for your clients. But yes, in the meantime, I need to start learning how to really ask myself, okay, is this really worth the money? Am I really going to go? Am I really going to set aside the time now to make sure that I go and attend these things, so that I get my money's worth? Like I remember there was a Gary Vee event. Obviously, it wasn't just him, and he wasn't the main speaker. It was a 2-day event, and he spoke for about a half an hour at the tail end of the second day. And yeah, that's the person I came to see, but there were a couple other people that, I was able to pick up on because I'd never heard of them before, but I'd paid the tickets and I made sure that the time was available. But yeah, if you're not really going to put aside the time, like, it's one of those things, you waste it one time and you're like, okay, I probably should be a little more careful about what I pay for and subscribe to or whatever.
Absolutely, because like I said, it was like Lisa Nichols speaking engagement. I'm going, I'm not going to be standing up in front of people speaking. However, it sounded good because in my mind, it was a working event for me to get with people that were coaches and speakers and see
Networking, yeah.
how I could assist them.
Okay.
But it wasn't local. It was in a whole nother.
Oh, okay. So there's travel involved. That's even worse.
So, even though I got the ticket and everything, by the time I started looking at the airline, the hotel, the rental car, I was like, it's the ticket. So, yeah, I'm going to lose out a little bit, but I'm okay with that because, I can save over here on all the extra stuff that's going to come with it because it wasn't like it all inclusive when you bought that ticket.
No, it's just to walk in the door.
That's it. That's all it was. It was like, okay, we got to do something completely different.
Oh, man.
But, you live and you learn. And like I said, 2018
Absolutely.
years where I just learned a lot. It was difficult. Like, it was difficult for a lot of people.
Yes.
But I bet you learned a lot of lessons just yourself.
Oh, man. Did I? I have piles of notebooks. But I usually have piles of notebooks, and that's why, I put everything in my phone, because if I were to go back to the Post-it or one of the 5 notebooks I happen to have lying around, I would never find whatever it was that I wrote down.
And that's why workflowy.com,
Yes.
workflowy.com. I use that. I'm like, I'm taking notes because, even if you're with a client and you're taking notes, you're going, okay, what did we talk about? Especially if you don't record it or something.
Right. And if you're just starting out, chances are you don't have filing systems or a place to put where your clients go, where your appointments go, and all that stuff yet. So, I mean, yeah, you're still working from a very basic level. So whatever can help us streamline our work, that's awesome. That's amazing.
It is. And the great part is you can share it with, I could share an actual portion of what I had worked on with you.
Okay, so let's say, you and I had a meeting. We're talking about how I can make my business better. At the end of the meeting, it's like you send me the minutes almost. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yep. And you
Awesome.
can
Yeah.
go from
Okay.
awesome.
I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that.
Right. And then guess what? If
Yeah.
you get 250 lines, you probably won't use that many. You just don't realize you won't use that many lines. But
Yeah.
if you share your workflow with someone else, then you
Mhm.
get it for 250 lines that month.
Oh, you double up. Okay.
I can
Okay.
about almost like an affiliation. But at the
Nice.
end of
Very
the day,
nice.
500 lines. Just imagine if you
Lines.
yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of notes.
That's a
I mean, it
lot.
could happen. I could probably do it if I sat down and really paid attention. I
You
like to
can
simplify everything and put down bullet points.
and that's the great thing because you can put bullet points in it too.
Very
So
cool. Very, very
I've used
cool.
a lot of different things.
Hmm.
So
But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So please keep us posted. Right now, you're more active on Facebook, correct?
yes, I'm more active on Facebook. I'm learning Instagram, but I'm also very active on LinkedIn because that's
Oh, okay.
more
Yeah.
professional,
That's the business aspect of it. It's probably better.
Yes, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
the best way to find you would be to just search the name, which is ACKISS,
Yes,
ACKIS.
ACKISSVM,
Very cool.
virtual.
DM. All right. You guys, you heard it right here. Miss Anitra Lane, thank you so much for staying up so late with me. I'm so sorry. It's like, what, one something now?
It's okay.
But I'm so glad. Thank you so much for taking the time. You guys, please look her up, ACKISS, ACKIS, Virtual Management VM, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, as she mentioned. She's also on here on Instagram, so soon we will start seeing more posts and stuff so we can follow you wherever you are. But in the meantime, if you do have anything coming out, let me know so I can shout you out on my page as well so that, people know where to find you, because not many people that I interview actually are in the business of helping other people streamline their work. And this is kind of cool for me because I feel like you really have hit like a great niche where people are still trying to figure out, the best apps, the best technologies to do all of these things that they know they're learning that they need to do in 2019 for their businesses.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be
All
here with
right.
you. Good
Thank you,
morning.
my love. Yes. You take care, get some sleep, and I'll catch up with you again later. Thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thanks. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.